Hi, and welcome to another episode of Driven by Soul. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I'd like to talk about some of the cars that I actually grew up with, some of the cars that were actually in my family. And let's see. First car we have here is a 1967 Plymouth Valiant. Now, this car was my mom's first car. It wasn't actually this car, but it was my mom's first car. And it was my grandfather's car, and she had inherited the car, but it wasn't nearly this pretty. Hers was kind of a puke green, and but hey, we loved it. And she hauled around four kids in this car, and I used to ride the hump because I was the youngest and I was the only boy. So we used to go to the pool in this car. So it was the pool car. And then next up, we have a 1969 Ford LTD. Now this car wasn't the car that we had actually in the picture. No, we had another. It was another green car. They were making green cars like crazy in the '60s, and we had a green Ford LTD. It was a four-door, had a big engine, 390, and this was also a pool car as well. My mom, it had black vinyl seats, and it would sit out in the sun, and the vinyl would be so hot from the sun, you'd have to put a towel down in order to sit in the car. And but hey, good times. And never wore a seatbelt. And again, I was the kid on the hump in the back because I was the youngest and the only boy. And after that, we have a 1982 Honda Accord. Now, this was my dad's first Japanese car, and he actually bought it brand new. The car was a very cool car. It was a little sedan with a 5-speed manual transmission, and it was kind of tricked out. It was nice, but we had it for maybe 7 or 8 years, and then I wrecked it. And well, my dad never let me live that down. So, but we won't talk about that. Then after that, we have the I think it was a 1985 Chevy Caprice. Now, I think everyone knew this car or rode in this car. This car was everywhere. It was a taxi cab, and there were police cars. And my dad had it as a company car, and then he bought it from the company. And it was just a big car. It was a big car, and it hauled around a lot of kids. And so it was well loved as well. Then after that, we had the 1986 Ford Taurus. And my dad, again, a company car, but this car was really cool. It was kind of groundbreaking for Ford at the time. It was their brand new sedan that was very modern, and it was very popular. So I thought that car was kind of cool as well. So yeah, the Ford Taurus, and they actually still made them up until recently. So it brings us to our last car, which was my first car, and it was a 1978 Plymouth Arrow. And my sister and I actually shared this car, and I had a lot of good memories in this car. And it wasn't actually this car photographed right here, but it was similar, same color. It looked like a turd, but I used to trick it out. I painted the bumpers black and put fog lights on it, and had a cool stereo in it. And my mom actually made seat covers for it, so yeah, it was a lot of good memories in that car. So that's part of my auto history growing up. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Driven by Soul. And I hope you tune into the next one. So thanks again for watching.